Hello students, welcome to the class. So now we are going to further and we are proceeding in our chapter, that is how do organisms reproduce, in the topic sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. And today we are going to cover the fertilization process in the flowering plants, right? So we have discussed about the male and a female gametes. Now let us see that how does fertilization occur or happen in that. So let's begin this from the anther. This is the anther which is having male gamete in it as a pollen. So this anther is here. This is having inside pollen sacs, and these pollen sacs are having a number of pollen grains in them. Now these pollen grains are like this in a structure. This pollen grain is having two different layers for its protection. The outer layer is called as exine and is made up of a sporopollenin. The inner one is called enantine, and this enantine is made up of cellulose and the pectin. The outer layer of pollen is so hard that up till now no acid has been formed or seen that which can dissolve this outer layer. Alright, it is just having a minute pore for the transfusion or for the exchange of gases. That's it. Otherwise this layer is quite hard. Because of this it can survive for a long time. Alright, so now this pollen grain is pollinated through different agents of pollination like wind, like water, like animals, mammals in them, then reptiles are there, birds are there, through different agents are there, through them it can be pollinated. Now this pollen is pollinated on the stigma of the female reproductive part of a flower. It can be bisexual or the unisexual flower. So now this is going to be pollinated, and after the pollination this pollen grain is going to land on the stigma, which is a female reproductive part, right? So now when this pollen will reach over here on the stigma section, this place the stigma is going to either accept this pollen or reject. This kind of interaction is called as pollen pistil interaction. As you know that this is all together called as the pistil tube. So this pistil is going to interact, and this is going to find out that whether this pollen is of its own kind, is of a good quality or good type or not. If it is acceptable, this stigma is going to accept it, otherwise it will reject that particular pollen. Okay, so now if pollen pistil interaction has happened and this pollen has been accepted by the stigma, now it will start coming here on this place, and inside to this particular pollen is going to increase in a length from its inner wall. So the inner wall which is there of the pollen, it will start increasing itself towards the downward and will make this kind of a structure which is called as a pollen tube. Now this pollen tube, this is also a pollen tube, it will elongate and reach till the ovaries micropyle end. Alright, so it is going to reach at the micropyle. Now after reaching at the micropyle, it is going to push this ovules part, this section, and after pulling it, it is going to release two different male gametes. Alright, now as this pollen tube is having two male gametes, it will release two. So one of them is going to get fused over here in this egg cell. So egg cell plus one male gamete will be fused here, and as this pollen tube is having two, so one is going to get fused over here and the third will fuse here, right? So that means it is having two different fertilizations. That is why this is also labeled or known as double fertilization, which is a very special characteristic of all angiosperm flowers or angiosperm plants, that they do the double fertilization. So this pollen grains inner wall elongates and reaches to the micropyle. After reaching micropyle, the two male gametes which are here, it pushes it and one of it goes here and meet with the egg cell, and the other one comes here to the polar nuclei, which is having a product called secondary nucleus. So here it will fuse and will make the other one, right? So now let us see what they are going to do. In this double fertilization process, where the egg cell will fuse, this egg cell is going to fuse with the one male gamete. This is going to result the zygote. Alright, the zygote will further develop as the embryo, and the other one which has fused here at the polar nuclei place, which is the secondary nucleus. So secondary nucleus plus the one male gamete is going to result the endosperm. Alright, now what will happen when this fertilization will happen and the process of fertilization will complete? So after this double fertilization, in a result, this is going to get developed. So this portion is going to develop the embryo, a new baby seed, and this part is going to be inside the seed, which will be the nutrition for this embryo at the time of a development. Alright, so this is their work, this is their function. Now apart from this, the ovary which is here, this ovary is going to develop into the fruit, and the ovule, which is you were watching, that ovule is going to get convert into the seed. So this inside this ovary, this ovule which is here, that is going to be in the seed formation, that will be the converted seed. And you know that seed is the developing part which will be developing to the new embryo, right? And inside that seed there is a endosperm, this one, which will be the nutrition for the plant. So this is your double fertilization process which happens in the angiosperms. So hope you have got through this. Thank you for watching the video.